Today we're going to take an up-close, in-depth look at the 2022 Kia Seltos EX Premium. So the EX Premium is definitely a model that I would recommend, and we're going to talk about why I would recommend that even over the higher trim level SX model. So that's what's going on here. If you've never joined us before, what we're going to do is we're going to go really in-depth with this car, but we also are live. So we're filming right now live, and we're going to allow our live audience to build for the first 3 minutes. So if you're not in our live feed at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, then what you can do is you can skip ahead to that 3-minute mark. That's when we'll get in on the content. In the next couple minutes, we'll talk about some news and some notes. I'll show you how to join us live, and we'll have the vehicle starting at the 3-minute mark. So let's come on over here. We'll flip the camera around for a second, and over here, if you want to join us live, you just go to our YouTube channel here, Kia Hyundai channel, and you refresh the page exactly at 2 o'clock like we're doing right now, and you will see that the main video is replaced by the live video. You click into that, and you're going to have to watch an ad, and while you watch an ad, actually it's in French right now for me, which is kind of fun. All right, we're going to skip that ad for a second. I'm going to run a quick ad for ourselves. If you are in Ontario looking to buy a car, you can connect with me after this video. There'll be a link in the description, and I will connect you with the 3 dealers that support us: Brantford Kia, Brantford Hyundai, and Owen Sound Hyundai. Those are the 3 dealers that help us out. They make this possible, so if you're in the area and you can support them, please do. Katie is from Phoenix. She said hi from Phoenix, so you're probably not going to buy from us, but I appreciate you watching. So we've got people from all over the world. We've got Orlando. We've got all over the stuff. So pretty cool to have that. All right, so news and notes. Kia Sorento PHEV. That's a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle. Supposed to be here in the last 2-3 days of the month. So if that schedule holds true, and there's always a little bit of variance in there, we will have the Kia Sorento PHEV on video before the end of the month, which is a car that you guys have really been asking about. So if you're interested in something like that, feel free to hit the subscribe button. We'll do that. Tomorrow, we're also going to talk about hybrid. We're going to have the Ioniq hybrid in here, the 2022 model. So that's, I think it's the 2022 model, pretty sure. So we'll have that in here, which is pretty exciting if you like hybrids. We just had the Elantra hybrid, so all kinds of eco-friendly cars coming up in there. What else is there to talk about? I think that's about it. Got to kill about another 30 seconds here. We hit 10 million views the other day, so that was pretty cool. And apparently, because you guys watched me, I got a lawnmower. Kind of a long thing, so you can watch the Sorento video we did earlier this week to see the first few minutes of me getting a lawnmower. And I had balloons up, so that was kind of fun. All right, 20 seconds to go. We'll see how many people got on here. If you're a regular with us, feel free to hit the like button right away. And if you're not a regular button, I'm totally willing to try to earn your likes. That's cool. All right, hello. We got a few people on here. That works. Okay. Teddy Bear, you know what I have? I don't, usually you guys remind me to have the keys, and I got them. Okay. All right, 3 minutes into this video, let's launch and start right now. This is the 2022 Kia Seltos EX Premium. Now, we did a Kia Seltos previously. It was the SX model, the 2022 model, and we talked to you about some of the differences, and really not a whole lot of differences from the previous year's model, but you may want to stay tuned in the video to see what you get here, because a lot of people skip a lot of important details that you probably want to know about if you're buying this car. So what we're going to do in this video is we're going to go really in depth. We're going to talk about the tech, the driver environment, the safety equipment. We're going to show you the size of the rear seat, the trunk space. We'll look at the lighting. We'll look at all kinds of other stuff. And I'll show you a few things that probably the other reviews aren't showing you. First thing we're going to do is show you the new logo. There it is on the back there. So this used to be kind of a rounded area to fit the oval logo. They've squared it off a little bit, and used to have an EX Premium type badge down there, or at least an EX badge. They've gotten rid of all the rear badging except for Seltos right there, Kia up there. And of course, we'll show you a little bit lighting later in the video. So same overall look on the outside. You can see the wheels look very similar to the SX model, and they really are. They're the same pattern, but they are 1-inch smaller wheels. So what that means is the diameter of the tire, let me see if I can get that. There we go. Diameter of the tire is the same. The cross here is the same as the SX, but the wheel itself is 1 inch smaller. So you have a little bit more sidewall here, a little bit less sidewall on an SX model. That can contribute to a better ride. And really, it's mostly about styling. But the other thing is those Kia logos would be surrounded by a red circle in the SX model. Out front, we'll show you lighting again in a second, or closer to the end of this video, but there's that new logo out front. And same idea here. I used to have sort of an indent there to hold that oval logo. Now, of course, no more indent. So really just no changes to the styling. We're going to take a look inside now and show you what you get. And depending on when you were looking at a Kia Seltos, you may see some software enhancements here that you didn't see previously. You can get them on the previous model year Seltos, but you can't get those logos. So first of all, let's just talk about where we are in the trim line, just so you can have a quick idea. Seltos is a pretty good car as far as availability of options here. So you start with the LX front wheel drive. It's got small little wheels. These are photoshopped in. They look a little bit better in person, but they are a little different look. Over here, the LX and EX look nearly identical to the average person. This one, of course, has a sunroof on the EX, so you can see some pricing down here, $23,395 to $27,995. Those are the trim lines below this. Now we're stepping up to the two top trim lines. So we have the EX Premium in front of us today. The SX Turbo is a different engine. You can see 146 horsepower compared to 175 horsepower, but you get a lot of the same features. So $30,995 to $32,995. Now that may seem like a lot to you, it may not. Pretty good value within the class, and really we're talking about a class-leading vehicle here. This Seltos can easily compete with vehicles much larger than it. Even we see a lot of Honda CR-V buyers that really just want a small, compact, efficient crossover with good trunk space, good rear seat space, and good front seat space. And that's why this makes a lot more sense, because of course, if you've looked at a Honda CR-V lately, you don't get that. Now you might say there's a Honda HR-V that competes with this, but that's a whole different car, and I'll be very honest with you, I think this one comes out ahead of that car by quite a bit. So let's take a look inside, and you can decide for yourself if you think that's true. Inside, you've got the key that will keep in your pocket. You would just tap this button once to unlock it, double tap it to unlock all the doors. I'll show you what that key fob looks like, because it is kind of nice with the new logo. And so there it is, new logo there. You can kind of see, you know, kind of got a little bit metallic trim in there. I don't know if you can see the lines there. It's sort of a brushed aluminum kind of look there. And you do have the remote start button on the key fob. So lock the car and then immediately hit the remote start, and that's how you remote start the car. Pretty simple. And you've got unlock and trunk button right there. And of course, because it's a keyless entry, I don't have to take it out of my pocket the entire time. Down here, you have powered seats. One thing I sometimes forget to mention on these powered seats is a lot of these powered seats, they only have one up lever. So you can just lift the back side here like that, but you can't always lift the front side here. And I can show you the front side there. See how that front side comes in and out? So the back side lifts that whole plastic and everything. I don't know if you can see that. It's coming up and down. So the whole seat itself is moving. When I lift the front side, just this piece comes up. It is a very nicely adjustable seat. You can find a lot of people are going to be very comfortable in here. And of course, you have the lumbar support as well. Let's jump in and take a look at the dash. So again, this is the model with a lot of technology. Going to turn it to the on position, but not start it. You can see you've got a nice big color display screen in the center. Fuel efficiency numbers, you can ignore those. That's probably pretty accurate, but we're going to show you the actual fuel efficiency numbers in a second. But here's the thing. A lot of people talk to me and they say, SX or EX Premium, which one should I get? Normally, I lean towards a little bit more power because often it gives you a little bit more towing capacity, gives you a little bit more practicality. In some vehicles, it gives you a little more sporty feeling. This is a car where I don't necessarily recommend the more power, and I'll tell you why. Neither of these cars are rated to tow, so if you're not towing a trailer, you have to move to a different vehicle than this. So if you get that one with a little extra power, it's not a rocket ship, right? It just feels strong throughout. But the way you drive in this car, it's got very good power for the kind of driving you're probably going to do in your small crossover, which is driving around town, driving across the city, driving on the highway, general stuff. If you're drag racing people, you may want the SX model with a little bit more power. But you're probably still going to lose a drag race against a lot of cars. It's not about tons of power. Like I said, the SX gives you that strong feeling. It does have the Bose audio, which is nice. And it does have the heads-up display in Canada, which is nice. But really, those are the two main features, as well as a different engine, different transmission. So if you like a certain style of transmission, you may gain a benefit there. But this engine, to me, for this type of vehicle, the way I would drive this vehicle, it's actually perfect for me, and it saves me a little bit of money compared to something like the SX. So taking a look at this dash here, pretty good little system you've got here. So again, if you've seen the lower level trims, it's just like a little center display here. This is a full screen display. You have a digital speedometer there, along with the analog gauges on either side here. If you hit the buttons here, you can go across and see all kinds of things. Lane keeping assist, driver attention level. This is your all-wheel drive gauge. So these, of course, are bar graphs that fill in with color as you're driving away. We can talk about the all-wheel drive system in a minute here. It's one of the best in class for snow. So if that's what you're thinking about doing, it's great. And tire pressure monitors as well. You can see each individual tire pressure as you're driving. So that's pretty helpful as well. Down here, fuel efficiency, just ignore all the numbers here again, because this car's probably been idling, but it's sitting okay for dealer cars. A lot of time you see this 8.9 number could be like 65. So don't worry too much when you see that. And of course, your drive modes here are the other big thing. On this car, you have a sport mode, a smart mode, and a normal mode. So sport, smart, and normal. Your smart mode is where I recommend driving this car. What that does is it gives you great fuel efficiency, and you can see right now, smart eco. If you were to watch this screen while you're driving, it might say smart normal or smart sport. And it's going to decide what trim to, or what level, to put it in based on how your right foot is working. So if you're really gunning it a lot, it might move it to normal or sport. And you can tell by when this is a little color bar graph as well. It'll cycle this way or it'll cycle that way in that econ to dynamic. So if it's more economy, it's going to stay in the eco. If you're going a little more dynamic, it's going to move you through the normal. And I think that is the mode that this car drives the best in. It's also a mode that's going to give you great fuel efficiency if you drive efficiently. So you can see a couple of the little safety feature type things in here down the bottom there. That little car between the lane right there is a nice little feature. What that does is it is a lane sensing technology. You can see the lanes and it can keep the vehicle in the lanes by actively steering the car. It's a pretty good system that I think most people would leave on. You do your normal driving, you don't feel it at all. And of course, it can see the lane markers, keeps you safe. And what's nice is when you look down over here for a second to play with something or something like that, you're not going to drift outside the lane. Now, there is another technology that's even better, and it's exactly like that, only pumped up more. This little button right here does the same thing. It can actively steer the car, but it sees the lane marker and keeps you centered in the lane. So now the car is actively steering itself, keeping itself centered in the lane. It sounds kind of crazy, but it works very, very well. It's known in the Kia Hyundai world as one of the best systems of its type in the automotive industry. And for me, I really like it because it just takes the stress out of driving. You forget how often you're doing this on a regular gasoline car. You're always left to right, left to right, left to right. On a regular, I say gasoline car because EVs are the ones I've been driving with this system. But on a regular car, you drive with, you're always making little corrections. On this car, you can sit there and set it up so it sees the lane, keeps itself centered, and it just takes a lot of stress out of driving. Now, that works really, really well, zoomed in a little too much here, with the smart cruise control, which again can keep the distance between you and the vehicle in front of you when you're on cruise control. So if you're going 100 kilometers an hour, somebody cuts out in front of you and they're going 90, the car can slow down and stay at 90 below. It also works very, very well in stop and go traffic. So if you're in a traffic situation where they're going 20 kilometers an hour, down to 10 kilometers an hour, up to 50 kilometers an hour, down to 40 kilometers an hour, all that kind of stuff, the smart cruise control works really well to never exceed the speed you set it at. So let's say you set it at 100 kilometers an hour, it will never exceed that speed, but it will go with traffic, accelerate and brake on its own, combine that with the lane follow assist, which is keeps you centered in the lane, and it takes all the stress out of a busy commute. It's a really, really good set of features there. All right, let's take a look. Ooh, come on, camera. There we go. Let's take a look at the dash here. You've got this new sort of system in here. If you had a Seltos in the past, or if you looked at Seltos in the past, you may not have this software. You can upgrade to this software if you want to. You can see here, you do have Bluetooth, you do have HD radio, you do have Sirius satellite radio. So again, not the Bose audio system, but basically every other feature. Another cool thing is this guest mode. You have guest, driver 1 or driver 2, and you can customize those names. And what ends up happening is the whole system here customizes itself just for you. So we're going to leave it in here as we go. You can see there's kind of an artistic rendering of your map here. That is an active map, but of course it's not very clear. You can tap it and go into it, or you can hit the buttons down here to go into the maps. Normally this is a more lighter color. If you go to my Instagram, you can see that lighter color. I took a picture of that today with the lighter color. It sees us in a dark room and says, hey, it's going to give you the nighttime view. But you do have navigation here. You also have Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, so you can use those maps as well. And when you run your navigation through here, you have a screen in here where you can see the directions here. So you could keep your directions just in here and through the stereo system telling you what to do. And you could keep, for instance, your music up here, which is kind of a cool way to do things. So we can tap this, go back home. You can see all sorts of menu items in here. HD radio data. Let's see if we can do one of my favorite things. Doppler radar. It may not work. Hey, it does work. See, there was just some rain through here. It's now going over Mississauga, a little bit over Toronto. So you have Doppler radar in this car as a feature that you can use. A lot of cool things going on. There is mood lighting in this car, which is pretty fun. You can just change the color of the mood lighting, which is a lot of fun. We can show you that in different things. Sounds of nature, don't even ask. It's kind of a silly thing that plays nature-y sounds through the speakers. I guess some people think that's cool. I'm not one of them. Anyways, good little system here. If we throw the car in reverse for a second, you can see the backup camera, and then what's new this year in the software is whatever you have up on the 1/4 thing, you can have whatever you want. So you could have just the clock, you could have this, you could have the radio station. So that's kind of handy because if you're backing up, you can still see what's going on the radio, navigation, whatever you want. Really clear backup camera, and it's got sort of extra lines. The blue lines stay straight with the car, so you're gonna line them up with your parking space when you're backing in, and the yellow and red lines give you a rough idea of where you're headed. So it's just a nice clear system there. And there's different views here. If you wanted to come in and take a look straight down from the bumper, you could do that as well. So just kind of a cool camera system. Now, this also has what they call rear cross traffic alert. So if I'm backing up and someone's crossing my path, it can warn me in the camera of things that I can't possibly see. And it does that using the blind spot detection sensors, which of course, when you're going forward, can look at your blind spot. When you're going reverse, they can look at things that are crossing your path. So really smart system there. You also have things called safe exit warnings. So when you get out of this car, it's capable of warning you that something might be crossing the path. So like when you're opening the rear doors, it just warns you something's coming there. Very cool system, a lot of cool things. And you can see also LED lighting out front, which is a really good reason to get this car over the EX model. The EX still has a sunroof, but it doesn't have the LED lighting. So we're gonna show you that LED lighting in just a minute here. If you have questions, guys, do me a favor, hit the like button right now, ask your question. I'm gonna review the audio or the climate system for a second, and then I'm gonna go get your questions. And sometimes your questions take a second to come in. So feel free to ask the questions, hit the like button, and we'll talk about the climate system, and then I'll jump out and get your questions. So let's turn this back around. I want to say one thing about the glare here. This is really clear. It glares bad on the camera. It's a lot of times it's because if the camera has one eye and you have two eyes, so you can sort of diffuse the glare with your own eyes, whereas you're going to see it as an exact mirror here when I show the camera. So don't worry about too much about the glare. It's very easy to see from the driver's seat. This climate system is pretty cool. You can set it to 22 degrees, for instance, and that may blow all kinds of fans. So if I do something like this, turn it down, you can see the fan speed picks right up, and it gets a little noisier in here. So if I go here at 17, now it's getting really noisy, the fan speed's picking up again. So let's say I wanted to go to 17 degrees, but I didn't want all that noise. You can see what I can do is put it on low. It turns the fan to a lower speed. So this essentially becomes the high when you're in your low setting, and your fan speed doesn't exceed that level. And what that does is it allows the temp or the climate to move itself around in various things and to reach that temperature. It'll just take a little longer to get there, but you never get blasted with the air from the speakers the same way you would if it was on full blast like this, where it picks up. So we'll just turn that to a normal temperature or so. I'm going to turn it to off for now. Coming down here, just real quickly, we mentioned the Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. You can wirelessly charge your phone there. You can plug in for Android Auto or Apple CarPlay in the center with 2 USB ports and a 12-volt port. There's your gear shift over here. You put it in drive. You can manually shift your own gears. There would be 8 different ratios you can choose in this vehicle when you manually shift. And another feature that people are surprised about when we talk about climate settings, you have your rump roasters, your heated seats. You also have ventilated seats. So seat ventilation is pretty cool. That blows a lot of air through. A lot of our competitors will move enough air through the seat to take the heat out of the seat. These actually move enough air through the seat to actually cool the seat, and it's a very nice feature to have in this trim line. Also heated steering wheel, electronic parking brake, hill descent control, 4-wheel drive lock button, which we'll talk about a little bit later, and you've got the passenger side as well. All right, we're gonna go answer your questions right now if you have any. If you haven't hit the like button, let's see, we've got 22 likes so far. Let's see if we can go for 40 likes today. So if you guys wanna hit the like button, that would help. I'm gonna jump out right now and we'll take your questions. I'm gonna turn the card off for a second. All right, we're gonna come back through. We can talk about lighting. We can talk about some of the safety features that gives. I want to talk about the rear seat space. I want to talk about trunk space, class leading trunk space in this car, which really means that you're buying a class down, but getting basically the same trunk space as a class above, and that can save you like $10,000 for all of this. So, all right, let's jump in here. Let me flip the camera around over here. You can look at the vehicle. I see some questions coming in, so just bear with me as I just jump to them here. All right. Howdy from Trinidad and Tobago. That's pretty cool. Lots of people from farther out. All right. Somebody has the GT line. So GT line would be, Trinidad and Tobago would be different naming than we have here in Canada. Okay, somebody's not happy with their Kia, and that can happen. So that's one of those things. All right. Oh, okay. So you guys are talking about something that happens in the States, and I just want to clarify right now. The auto industry is absolutely crazy right now. Vehicles are very limited. If you're ordering popular vehicles, you may have to wait for them. Not just us, everybody. You guys have heard about the chip shortage, all kinds of stuff. Supply chains are at their max. Things are going on. If you order a car today, you might have to order it. You might have to order it instead of just take it off the lot. It's a different car buying climate right now. What's happening in some places, especially the States, is people are asking like $10,000 over MSRP. That never happens at our dealers. So just so we know, that doesn't happen. Hi from Toronto. How do you update software and firmware? Through the dealer, or you can download yourself? You can download yourself through the Map&Soft software. I haven't got time to get into it here, but you can look that up, Map&Soft. Download it yourself. It's a whole new operating system if you download on this car. So you're gonna get that purple look operating system, not just the mapping update. So be aware that once you change to that, you're stuck with that. You can't go back. So just make sure you want it. You will lose some of the 3 widgets. You can put 2 widgets on a screen, but you can't have 3 widgets anymore. But you do get a little bit of a cleaner look. And hopefully you like purple, because that's what it is. Does it come with mats? Yes, it comes with cloth floor mats. When will we be able to see a 2022 Sorento? Soon. The first one I've heard of arriving is the 2022 Sorento PHEV. That will be here before the end of the month, and we will review it before the end of the month, as long as it comes on time. All right, so let's keep flipping around here. Let's check out the back seats here. Back seats for this car are very roomy. A lot of cars in this class, there's 2 issues I have. One, my head will often hit the ceiling, especially if I lean back a little tiny bit. And 2, my knee room is just crazy, crazy, crazy. One thing you may not expect back here is the heated seats. You have heated rear seats, cars off, so they won't light up, but 2 levels of heated rear seats. That's just the seat bottom only. And you have vents back there as well, USB port. Let's jump in. Here's me, 6 feet tall, sitting behind my 6-foot self in a small crossover. And guess what? Headroom is plenty. You can recline this seat back 1 setting, so 1 little inch. So you do get a little extra recline if you want that. I'm just gonna leave it where it is for now. You do have an armrest here, which I can put down for a quick second. In the armrest, you have cup holders here, you can see, and it falls at the right spot. It doesn't sit flush, like flop to the seat here. It sits above it, which is kind of nice. So we can flop that back up. And the other thing I really like about the seats back here is you can see my legs are very comfortably on the seat. That is a big feature that people don't realize is an important comfort piece of the rear seats. Sitting back here, 6-footer, no issues at all. And again, I'm a 6-footer sitting behind myself who's 6 feet in a compact crossover, and you've got just a ton of legroom. So again, this car often takes the place of a small crossover, which is actually the bigger class, and you can really fit a lot of space in here. All right, about 50 people on right now. Do me a favor, guys, hit the like button. We were gonna go for 40 likes, so we need, what do we need? 16 more likes, 50 of you on. You guys can help me get there right now. Do me a favor, let's see if we can get there. And again, backseat comfort space, highlights would be vents in the seats, plastic back seats, they're easy to wipe down, heated rear seats back here, USB port is available, cup holders in the armrest, bottle holders in the door, a pretty comprehensive back seat over here. And one other thing I should show you, this needs to have the plastic taken off, if I can do that. Come on over here. It's pretty cool LED lights. Oh boy, this car is delivering my video. There we go. So you have nice little lights up here. These ones don't turn on with touch. You can turn this one on with the button here. But if we go to the front lights here, if we're in the front seats now, whoops, come on camera. There we go. You can turn on these lights here by just touching them, which is pretty cool, instead of having to hit a switch. So very cool system there. I'm gonna leave this sticker, actually I'll put that on the table. Let's jump out and check out the rear seat space. Rear seat space, or sorry, the trunk space is also class leading for this vehicle. So what's recommended for cleaning the leatherette seats? You know what, I'm not 100% sure. I should do probably a video like that soon. We have our detailing crew here who could probably help me with that. I need to learn how to clean leather seats better. That's not something I know of very well. I just wipe them down with a damp cloth, but I'm sure there is better chemicals than that to use. So we can look that up for you, but I won't have today. Does the Bose sound system sound better than normal speakers? Is it worth upgrading? Is it worth it? It might be worth it to you. The Bose sound system does sound better. Now you do have HD radio here. You do have satellite radio here. So you have all the clear radio stations that you want, and the bass system is pretty good. The Bose system is better, especially in the bass. You get more bass in that Bose audio. So you're not just getting the Bose audio when you move up, you're getting a different engine, different transmission, and you're getting the heads-up display, of course, in Canada. So is it worth it? It might be worth it to you. For me, the stereo system alone would not be enough to get me to upgrade. And like I said, I really think this is the value proposition. You're getting all the features, and I don't need more power in this class of car Because like I said, the more power doesn't gain you anything other than the feeling of more power. It's not like it's more towing capacity or something like that. All right, let's jump in the trunk here. What I've done is I've lowered the floor for you because it can be raised or lowered. So you can see here, it just comes down a little bit. This is a really large trunk for the class, like very, very large. In fact, it is class leading. So what you can do to raise or lower the floor, first of all, there is a spare tire underneath there, but you can grab this handle here, pull it back, slide it like that, put it back on the top. Oops. And if I do it with my right hand, I wouldn't have had that issue. And now you have it flush with the seats. I'm gonna lower it back down here, and you can do what you want with it. And the reason I like it lowered down like that is because it gives you a little extra cargo space. And if you were taking around something like, oh, I don't know, an oversized teddy bear, you want to give your teddy as much room as you can. Now, why am I sticking a teddy bear in the trunk? First of all, if you've ever seen my videos, you see me stick the teddy bear in pretty much every car we sell. And the reason we do that is you can compare trunk sizes. If I was just to fill your screen with the view right here and have no reference point inside, you wouldn't be able to see which one is bigger. Umar, you want to know if you can purchase mats from us? I don't think it makes sense for us to ship to Trinidad. I think the cost would make it too expensive. You may want to check online with a dealer somewhere closer to you. All right, teddy bear in the trunk here, so you've got a lot. The EX is the one without the turbo. That's correct. So we're in the EX Premium. So the EX Premium is where we're at. No turbo engine in this one. But you do have pretty good load of luxury features. So there's teddy bear in the back. You can see when I've lowered the floor, if Teddy was hard and not soft, if I had the floor raised, that little panel there, it is removable, but it would be touching Teddy's tummy. Here he's got a little extra tummy room in there, and he's got tons of space in the back. For a compact crossover, this is a very, very large trunk, and you'd be able to take a lot of stuff. One thing people forget to point out too is there's a little hook there for the grocery bags. You can keep, if you have grocery bags, let's say you're getting oranges or apples or cans of soup, something that might roll around, you can hook it up there and it won't be any issue. Somebody says, what size engine does this have? This has a 2-liter engine. It shares it with the Kia Soul, with the Kia Forte, and with the Kia Seltos. I'm just realizing that this car is supposed to deliver in half an hour and they still left the shipping plastic on. We're gonna have to talk to our detailing crew. Oh, there's more plastic in here in the trunk. So all these things are actually shipping plastic. They should be coming off before we deliver the car. All right, we're gonna take a look at lighting really quickly now, and then I'm gonna go back to your questions. So we're still looking for 40 likes. We got 50 people on right now. We need 7 more likes to get there. So let's see if we can do that. I wanna show you the lighting in this car because again, the lighting is upgraded on this car versus some of the other cars in the lineup. Oh, I need to get my hip in here to get my key in because the key's in my pocket. There we go. All right, lighting on, fog lights on. One other quick thing I want to show you is a lot of the Seltos, you can tell the trim line by what's going on down here. The LX uses this black plastic look. As you move to an EX, this section here that is white or body color of this car switches to a piano black. As you move to the EX Premium, this section here comes body color. So you can tell by looking at the side of the car what trim line it is simply by what you're looking at right there. Coming to the front, the other thing that you can tell the trim line you're looking at is a lot of the Seltos, or all the Seltos, you'll see this flickers on camera. This doesn't flicker in real life, it just flickers the way it interacts with the camera, but it makes it easier to film right now to show up. That piece that's flickering on your camera, if it's on the LX, it just stops there. If it's on anything above the LX, you can see it continues through the dash right there, or through the grille right there. Now the EX Premium is the first level with LED headlights and LED signals and LED fog lights. And you can see here, bam, blazing bright headlights, and the fog lights, same idea. Bam, bam, bam. 1, 2, 3, really bright fog lights. I really recommend, if you can, to get the LED lights. They are a brighter, whiter light. They've got a pretty sharp cutoff there. And when you're driving at night, this camera doesn't film it very well. It looks more yellowy here and white there. That's just because this is much brighter. But when you're driving at night, the color of this light is much more closer to daylight, and it allows you to really identify what it is that you're looking at very quickly. It's just a real difference in driving at night with these types of lights. I'm gonna turn on the 4-way flashers for a second because I also wanna show you these LED signal lights, which are a nice upgrade. You have them in the side mirrors there, but they have a real 3D look here to the front. They look super cool in person. Really hard to get on film how cool they look, but that's a nice upgraded look here on the Seltos. On the EX Premium and above, that you have pretty cool lights. In the back, you also have LED lighting. And where it shows up is in this really 3D looking, actually it is kind of 3D. This steps up and in, there's some real depth to that. And again, in person, there's some depth and character to these LED lights across there. And these are lights, not reflectors. So it just gives it some real character, and you can see your signal lights are separate. They are not LED on this car or on any of the Seltos right there. But just a really clean and nice look to the lighting. So much more expensive look. Artificial exhaust there, that's just a styling detail. The actual exhaust is underneath there. But again, some of these trim pieces change per trim line. The EX Premium is just one of the better looking ones. Roof rack is also standard. You can really, a lot of things, you can get a lot of spread for a lot of these small crossovers. They don't actually start sometimes your roof rack until the back door here. So you'll lose a ton of space to be able to spread the bars. If you have something like a kayak or a canoe on top, having bars spread wide apart is much easier. So really nice spread there. All right, 60 people on. We were going for 40 likes today. So 64 people on right now. We were going for 40 likes. We're hoping for 3 more likes. If you want to hit that, we're going for 40. I'll be happy to take more. We're going to your questions right now. So if you have a question, I'll be happy to answer that as best I can. And after that, we'll probably try to wrap up this video. The new look is beautiful. It really is good. The shorter legs work well, though, though my friend thought the headlights, and I'm not sure what that comment says. This is an excellent vehicle. It really is. Okay, is there any questions I missed? You should do a small road test for us too. That would be helpful. So I'll tell you why I don't do road tests. I think I will do some road tests, but a lot of people do really good road tests. And I don't think I'm adding anything to that space. So we can do that at some point, but I'm not sure that I will do that in the future. So it says, what is the average biweekly payments for financing? That's a sales thing. I do the marketing. To be very honest with you, I rarely memorize the prices of these vehicles. So memorizing the monthly payments is not something that I do. You can connect with our sales team. They'll be able to help you out and give you a number that so you can have a sense of what you're looking at. And also there's calculators online, including on the website, that can give you a basic idea. Kia.ca will give you a biweekly payment right there. Daytime running lights are very bright. Yep. So what else did I miss here? I think that's the gist of it. I think there's not a ton of comments in there, so we can just roll with that. So there we go, guys. Tomorrow we're back with the Ioniq Hybrid. So that's the Ioniq, the regular Ioniq Hybrid, not the Ioniq 5 that you guys are all waiting for. That car is also coming, and so that's what's coming up. And what else are we doing? Like I said, Kia Sorento PHEV, so that's the first 2022 Sorento that I've heard of, should arrive, well, it's scheduled to arrive here right before the end of the month. So as soon as it arrives, if I can get it on video the same day, I will. That's a highly desirable car. That's something that you guys want to see and I want to see. So we'll have that up as well. A lot is coming out in the next couple of months. So if you want to hit the subscribe button, you will see a whole bunch of the new cars. And we're going to go really in detail. I think we're going to get a Santa Cruz back in here, a top trim line. That should be back soon as well. We'll probably have that next week. Just a lot of really cool cars coming up. And again, because we're not a review channel, we can take a car like the one we did today and pull it in here as early as next week again and do another video again on it. So if you want to see more detail, more comments, more information on these vehicles, then we can do that. We'll do that over and over and over again. And we'll continue to show you the vehicles you're interested in as long as you keep asking for them. So there we go. I'm going to leave it there. I've got some stuff I've got to get to this afternoon. I want to thank everyone for joining us. We are back here live at 2 o'clock. We've got some more short videos coming up later this month as well to give you some hints. So if you're a Kia owner, Hyundai owner, we're going to give you some of that stuff. All right, somebody says Teddy's going to get a stiff neck. You have no idea how stiff-necked Teddy's going to be because that's how I threw him back there. All right, thanks everybody for watching. We will see you again tomorrow. And yeah, it's been fun.